Oh, it's bad. It's worse than I even thought. Let's talk about that. Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. All right, I did the food shortage thing yesterday, went through all of it, and I kept hearing that number 16. There's 16 plants that have shut down. A lot of y'all hollered at me, and I went through it all today. Yeah, it's worse than I thought. There is a lot to this, and I'm gonna kick a few out and say, no, these don't count for the list. So it's a lot. I'm gonna get you everything you need to do your own research to plan for yourself and your family for the days ahead. This stuff matters. So buckle up. Stay with me to the end. You may be surprised where we end up. Buckle up, here we go. This fun is brought to you by my friends over at CMMG, made in Boonville, Missouri. Fantastic warranty and redesigned for 2022. They are fantastic, as John Steinbeck said, strong as a bull, and as I say, runs like a scalded dog, y'all. I absolutely love them. Head over to cmmg.youknowwhat and check them out. Hey, those of y'all that have bought those in the last several weeks and months, tag me on Instagram when you post your rifles. I can't wait to see them. To each of y'all, thank you for every thumbs up. If you think I deserve it, I'd love for you to check your description. Yesterday, I went through a ton of stuff because the Child Sniffer in Chief has said we are going to have food shortages. How do we plan for the days ahead? Everybody kept saying there's been 16 plants burned down in the last 2 years. I couldn't find them. I even said that the Timcast was incomplete. Tim Pool's podcast was incomplete, or timcast.com. And so I went through all that. I shared that with you in yesterday's video. You can check it out. A bunch of y'all said, no, Johnny, it's even much, much, much worse than 16. And I kept seeing, hey, there's been 22, there's been 23, there's been 24. So I spent this afternoon chasing it down. I'm gonna go through it. If you want to do your own homework, get your scratch pad, pause and stop, and do what I did. I've got all of them just listed out here, and I do my own work by hand myself. It's how I like to do it. Now, there's a thing called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. It's the idea that once you see something, you're gonna see a lot more of it. It is what is called a frequency phenomenon, some call it. Think of it this way. You have a friend that gets a brand new white Tacoma truck, and all of a sudden you've got that white Tacoma truck on your radar, and you see him, hey man, what's up? And we've all done this. Then you start seeing them absolutely everywhere. I never knew there was this many out there. I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but it is part of the conversation. Once you go, okay, there's been a lot burning down. Is there more? Oh my gosh, a plane hits a potato plant in Idaho, and it didn't even affect the plant, but it makes the list. I think a few of these might be Bader-Meinhof. I don't know. Let's get to the beginning. The genesis was in August of 2019, the Tyson Foods in Kansas. That was the big one. Now, we're going to skip all the way up to January of 21. Deli Star, these are the new ones. Deli Star Meat, I found all of these. Y'all sent these to me. Deli Star Meats in Illinois, it was a fire. April of 21, Smithfield Food Plant in North Carolina. Those were hogs, and it looked like maybe a silo burned. I'm not sure. July of 21, the Kellogg Company in Tennessee. Everybody talks about that. Very small fire. It was a rice dryer. I don't know if it should be on the list. July of 21, River Valley Ingredients in Alabama. Fire, big one. We talked yesterday, August 21, Patak, September 21, JBS USA, respectively in Atlanta and Nebraska. Next, new for today, November of 21, Made Right Steak in Kansas. Big one, big fire. December 21, West Side Food Processing in Texas. Smoke damage, $100,000. January of 22, we're into this year. The Van Drunen in Illinois, big one. January of 22, Washington Potato Company in Washington. January of 22, Cargill Nutrina Food Mill, that's in Louisiana. That is feed for hogs and cows, so that's the Nutrina. February of 22, this year, Harper's Market Poultry. I keep seeing that one on list. I cannot find it, but everybody has it on their list. Harper's Market Poultry, no state. What I did find was one called Harper's Ham from 2017 in Kentucky, so I'm kicking that one off the list. I can't find it. If you can, I think it's been conflated with what happened in Kentucky in 2017. Onward, February this year, Wisconsin River Meats. Big one. It's in Wisconsin. February this year, Bonanza Company in Texas. Big one. Now, yesterday I did talk about Shearer's Food in Oregon. That's February of this year. A new one for today, March of 22, the Hot Pockets plant in Arkansas. Big one. And then we have a whole series here from yesterday. Walmart in Illinois, Maricopa Food Bank in Arizona, Rio Fresh in Texas, East Conway Beef in New Hampshire, the Gem State Processing, that's the Plain, that's in Idaho, and then the Azure Standard in Oregon. Those 6 are all from March and April this year. You can pause and start this and do your notes. It's super easy. And then finally, we get to April of this year, the General Mills in Georgia. That one keeps getting talked about. People yesterday said, Johnny, you missed that, you missed that, you missed that. Well, a plane hit 6 tractor trailers. I don't think that's anything significant. Yes, for the individuals that were injured. Yes, I get that. But in the grand scheme, is there some mass attack on food supply? I don't think that one goes in there. So for today, yesterday I kicked out 3. I kicked out the Walmart distribution plant. A lot of y'all said, hey, that wasn't food at all. I thought it might have been. I'm not sure. I'm getting conflicting reports. I kicked that one out. I also kicked out the Plain in Idaho, and I kicked out the Maricopa County Food Pantry. It was one building, one small building. That's insignificant. It's significant for the individuals, but for the grand scheme, not at all. For today, I don't know. That Kellogg company in Tennessee, the rice dryer, seemed pretty small. I'm not sure. Also, the Westside Food Processing, that was smoke damage, and it was up to $100,000 of damage. In those of y'all that know commercial processing, that's not even a blip on the radar for a company this size. That one's really small. The Westside Food Processing, and then the Harper's Poultry. I can't find it, so I think that was from 2017. So here's what I'm going to say. We all need to pay attention to this. It makes me nervous when Sniffy says there's going to be food shortages. But he also said that there's going to be a winter time of sickness and death. We had a pretty good winter this past winter. Most people did. But we need to pay attention. So it makes me nervous, but we need to pay attention. I'm going to kick out a few of these. I don't think it's 24 in a year and a half. But I am, as of today, I'm changing my tune a little bit. Yesterday I said I had 2 hairs on the back of my neck standing up, and I'm like, ooh, gonna watch it. Today I'm gonna say there's double, 4 hairs on the back of my neck. Ooh, feeling a little hinky about it. It's rustling my jimmies. We need to watch this. How do we plan ahead? A lot of y'all talked about what you've been doing over the last year for yourself and your family and making decisions based on that. I still don't know how many of these are just, because plants are going to burn down, and how much of this is Bader Meinhof, where we're like, oh, there's another one. An airplane hits a roof or an airplane hits 6 trucks. It's gotta be the new world order. Finally, I want to throw this out there. This may surprise you. A lot of y'all said, hey, a lot of this stuff is happening in Oregon, and that's where the Greenpeace crazies are, and they love nothing more than to destroy meat plants. I thought that was interesting. Keep in mind, one of these was like Nutrina plant, kind of like dog food, but for beef food. I know that's part of the supply chain, but I'm watching it. So I'm sitting here saying today, yeah, it's worse than I thought. Thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you think. I'll be on it as we go along. I'll see y'all tomorrow on Spicy Friday. Bye.